You're told to just take the pill and trust it. You're told it's harmless because it's common. But here's the truth you can't ignore anymore. The wrong pill can silently damage your heart, and you won't notice until it's too late. Your age doesn't protect you. Your routine doesn't protect you. Blind trust definitely doesn't protect you. You live in a world where pills are handed out like solutions, where swallowing something feels easier than asking questions, and where convenience is marketed as care. You're expected to comply, not think. You're expected to accept, not challenge. But your heart is not a place for blind faith. It is the engine of your life, and it pays the price for every decision you make, especially the decisions you make on autopilot. You've been taught to believe that anything that comes in a small bottle with instructions must automatically be safe. That belief is comfortable. It saves time. It keeps you from having uncomfortable conversations or facing difficult truths. But comfort is not protection. Pills don't magically become harmless because they are familiar. They don't suddenly stop having risks because you've taken them for years. Your heart doesn't care how normal something seems. It responds to what it's given, relentlessly, honestly, without negotiation. And if what it's given is too much stress, too many interactions, too much strain, it breaks down quietly at first, and suddenly you may be told your fatigue is just age. Your short breath is just getting older. Your racing heartbeat is just stress. Harsh truth, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes your body is waving red flags while you keep swallowing the same pill out of habit, out of trust, or out of fear of asking questions. You are not weak for questioning. You are reckless for ignoring. The easy path, the path of silence, compliance, routine, is exactly the path that gets people hurt. And you know it. Deep down, you know when something feels off. You know when your body is different. You know when your heart feels tired. You just bury it under the belief that everyone takes this, or the doctor said it's fine, or it's been years, it can't suddenly be a problem. It can. It does. Here's a brutal realization. Your body has changed, and the pills you once tolerated may not treat you the same way today. Age changes metabolism. Age changes the heart. Age changes the way drugs work inside you. Pretending you are the same as you were decades ago is not strength. It's denial. Denial is comfortable right up until the moment it costs something you can't get back. The heart doesn't argue, negotiate, or explain. It simply responds to the reality you create for it. You either respect it or you pay for not respecting it. There is no middle ground. You've been conditioned to outsource responsibility for your health. They know best becomes the default mindset. But here's the truth you need to swallow harder than any pill. Nobody lives inside your body except you. Nobody feels your chest tighten or your pulse stumble at night except you. Nobody carries the consequences of the choices you make every single day except you. That means the most dangerous thing you can do is not a single pill. It's passivity. It's the habit of not thinking, not asking, not challenging, not reviewing, not paying attention. Pills are powerful. Indifference is even more powerful and far more destructive. This is not fear-mongering. This is a wake-up call. Your heart has carried you through every victory, every loss, every year you've lived. It has endured stress, habits, foods, emotions, neglect, and effort. It works without thanking, without complaining, until it can't. And when it can't, the excuses you've been using won't matter. I thought it was fine. Everyone takes it. I didn't want to bother anyone. Those lines don't protect you. They never have. They only protect your comfort while putting your life at risk. So here it is, stripped of sugar. Coating, you can't afford autopilot anymore. Not with your heart, not with your age, not with your life. The pill you swallow without thought can either help your body or harm it, and pretending that the difference doesn't matter is the most dangerous mindset of all. You don't need fear. You need awareness. You need responsibility. You need the courage to question what you've been told to accept. Your heart is not replaceable. Your years ahead are not disposable. Stop acting like they are. You deserve to hear this without sugarcoating. Your heart is not a testing lab for every pill that promises comfort, calm, faster sleep, or quick relief. Some pills strain the heart. Some pills interact and overload it. And some pills taken every single day slowly push your heart toward exhaustion while you believe you're doing the right thing. You're told that consistency is discipline, that taking something daily means you're being responsible. But responsibility is not obedience. Responsibility is awareness. If you don't know what a pill is doing to your heart, your blood pressure, or your circulation, then you're not being responsible. You're being compliant. There's a difference. And your body pays the bill for not knowing it. You've been trained to chase relief more than understanding. Headache, take a pill. Trouble sleeping, take a pill. Anxiety, take a pill. Pain, take a pill. The pattern becomes automatic. You reach for a bottle faster than you reach for information. You follow habits more than questions. But your heart is involved. In every single dose, every single interaction, every single adjustment your body has to make to process what you swallow. It beats harder. It slows down. It changes rhythm. It compensates. You feel better in one area while your heart quietly takes on the burden in another. That's the trade you're never told about, and the trade you absolutely must stop ignoring. Another harsh reality: pills are powerful chemicals, not comfort buttons. Marketing makes them look small, harmless, controlled. Reality says otherwise. The same pill that eases one symptom can raise your blood pressure. The same pill that calms your nerves can weaken your heart's response. The same pill that seems innocent because everyone takes it can be exactly the one your body cannot handle anymore at your age, with your conditions, with your unique health history. Your life isn't a statistic, your heart isn't an average. Most people tolerate it does not mean you will tolerate it. You might think if there was danger, someone would have warned me already. That thinking is exactly what gets people into trouble. Warnings get buried under routine. Risks get minimized because they're uncomfortable to talk about. And many times nobody connects the dots because side effects appear slowly, gradually, quietly, just enough for you to blame age instead of asking questions. The pill bottle doesn't shout when the dose is wrong. It doesn't flash when an interaction is risky. It just sits there, expecting you to think for yourself. Most people don't. That's the real problem. Your heart is working harder than you realize. It's adapting to stress, lifestyle, diet, and yes, to the pills you take. When you add more without clarity, you're stacking weight onto the one muscle your life depends on. You don't get to see the strain in real time. You don't watch your arteries struggle or your rhythm stumble. You only feel the after effects, the fatigue you call normal, the breathlessness you call age, the pressure you call just one of those days. Those labels are comfortable lies. They protect your routine, not your health. So here is the blunt truth. Stop pretending that every pill is harmless just because it fits in your hand. Stop assuming that doctor prescribed, over-the-counter, herbal means risk-free for your heart. Stop believing that silence equals safety. Ask what each pill is doing to your cardiovascular system. Ask how. It interacts with what you already take. Ask what changes with age. Not later, not someday, now. Because your heart is not a place for casual decisions. It is the reason you wake up, move, think, and live, and it deserves more than blind trust. You've been conditioned to think this way. If it's prescribed, if it's popular, if it's sold everywhere, it must be safe. That belief feels comfortable because it allows you to stop thinking. It lets you hand over responsibility and hide behind the phrase, they wouldn't give it if it was dangerous. But here's the hard truth you need to face right now. Safety is not universal. Safety is personal. A pill that sits harmlessly in someone else's life can be the exact pill that pushes your heart towards serious trouble. Age changes the rules. Health history changes the rules. Combining pills changes the rules. Pretending those rules don't exist doesn't make you protected. It makes you vulnerable. You've been told to trust systems, labels, advertisements, and routines more than your own body. You swallow something because it worked for a friend, because it's familiar, because you've seen it on a shelf for years. Familiarity tricks you. Common use tricks you. The phrase, everyone takes it, becomes a blanket you wrap around yourself to avoid asking real questions. But your heart doesn't obey slogans. It obeys biology. It reacts to interactions, dosages, and side effects, whether or not you choose to believe in them. A pill doesn't become gentle because the box looks friendly. It doesn't become harmless because you've used it for a long time. Long-term use can be exactly what turns a small risk into a big one. Here's a harsh realization you may not like hearing. What once worked for you may no longer be safe for you. The same dose, the same pill, the same routine, different body. Aging changes how your organs process drugs. Kidneys slow down. Liver metabolism shifts. The heart becomes more sensitive to rhythm changes, pressure changes, and fluid shifts. That means the pill you shrugged off years ago may now stress your heart in ways you don't feel immediately. You chalk up the signals to just aging, while your heart is doing extra work you never agreed to give it. The danger isn't always loud. The danger is slow, quiet, gradual, and easy to deny. You might cling to the belief that if something serious were happening, it would be obvious. You'd expect dramatic warning signs. But that's not how risk always shows up. It shows up as small things you normalize. A little more swelling than before, a little more fatigue, sleep that doesn't refresh you, a heartbeat that occasionally feels off, but you tell yourself it's nothing. These aren't always dramatic alarms, they are whispers. And you've been trained to ignore whispers because they inconvenience your routine. You keep taking the same pill, believing that repetition equals safety. Repetition only equals habit. Sometimes habit becomes hazard. Another uncomfortable truth, your trust has made you lazy about your own health. You assume someone else is tracking the interactions. You assume someone else is thinking about your age, your other conditions, your supplements, your over-the-counter pills. But nobody lives in your medicine cabinet except you. Nobody knows everything you take unless you speak up, and many people don't. They add one thing here, another thing there, a natural product on top of it, and then act shocked when the heart begins to struggle. The phrase natural has become one of the most misleading shields you hide behind. Natural does not mean harmless. A plant can change your heart rhythm just as surely as a synthetic drug can. Believing otherwise is not optimism. It is negligence toward your own body. You may feel uncomfortable hearing all this. Good. Discomfort is the first sign that denial is cracking. You don't need panic. You need honesty. You need to accept that your heart is not operating in the same environment it did decades ago. More pills, more combinations, more hidden risks. You cannot afford to move through this part of your life on blind trust. Blind trust is easy until it collides with consequences. And consequences don't care how polite, compliant, or hopeful you were. So here's the mindset shift that protects you. Replace automatic belief with intelligent skepticism. Not fear, not paranoia, skepticism. Ask how a pill affects the heart. Ask how it behaves in older adults. Ask how it mixes with what you already take. If you feel something change in your body, don't automatically blame age. Consider that the pill in your hand might be part of the story. You are not being difficult. You are being responsible for the only heart you will ever have. The lie that if it's common, it's safe for everyone has to die, because your life is not everyone. Your heart is not average. Your risk is not generic. Stop acting like it is. You ignore side effects because you think they're normal. You feel dizziness and call it age. You notice swelling and call it salt. You feel your heart pounding your chest and call it stress. That habit is dangerous, and it's one you need to break right now. Your body is not making noise for entertainment. It's signaling. It's warning. It's telling you that something isn't right. When you dismiss the signs, you're not being strong. You're being careless with the one organ you cannot live without. Strength is paying attention. Strength is listening when your body whispers instead of waiting until it screams. You've been told for years to tough it out, to accept discomfort because getting older is supposed to hurt. That belief has become your excuse to ignore what matters. Harsh truth, aging explains some changes, but not all of them. Age becomes your mask. You hide every symptom behind it, so you don't have to think, don't have to question, don't have to confront the possibility that something you're taking might be pushing your heart too far. It feels easier to label it all as just aging than to admit you might need to review your pills, your dosages, your combinations. Easy isn't safe. Easy is how problems grow in the dark. You know when something feels different in your body. Don't pretend you don't. You know when your energy drops in a way that doesn't make sense. You know when your heartbeat feels irregular, too fast, too hard, or strangely weak. You know when your legs feel heavier, your breath shorter, your chest tighter than it used to. You feel it. You just explain it away because explanations are more convenient than action. Here's the blunt truth. Your explanations don't protect you. They only buy time for a problem to get worse. Stop romanticizing tolerance. You tell yourself, I can handle it. But handling it is not the goal. Understanding it is. Handling dizziness while a pill silently stresses your heart is not resilience. It's denial wrapped in stubbornness. You would never ignore warning lights on a machine that keeps you alive. Yet you ignore the warning signals from the machine that actually does keep you alive, your heart. Fatigue becomes busy day. Swelling becomes long walk. Palpitations become nothing serious. That pattern is exactly how people miss crucial signs until they can't afford to miss them anymore. Another harsh realization: you've normalized feeling unwell. You've lived with so many pills, so many aches, so many changes that you've forgotten what good even feels like. You wake up tired and call it life. You barely tolerate your own energy and call it normal. But normal is not the same as safe. Your body adapts to discomfort because it has no choice. Your mind labels it as ordinary because that's convenient. Meanwhile, if a pill is pushing your heart, altering rhythms, shifting blood pressure, or affecting fluids, that ordinary feeling is anything but ordinary. It's a message you keep muting. You are not being dramatic when you question side F. ECTs. You are being responsible. The real danger isn't asking too many questions. It's asking none. You don't win prizes for silence. You don't get extra points for pretending everything is fine. You only increase the odds that a fixable issue becomes a serious one. Listen carefully. The body rarely fails without warning. It whispers first. It nudges. It sends clues. Dizziness, swelling, shortness of breath, unexpected fatigue, chest discomfort, changes in heartbeat. You don't have to panic when you feel them, but you absolutely should not ignore them. Here's the mindset shift you need. Stop minimizing, start noticing. Pay attention to patterns, not excuses. When something new appears, don't rush to blame age. When something worsens, don't chalk it up to just life. Ask, when did this start? What changed? Did a new pill begin? Did the dose increase? Did another supplement get added to the mix? This is not paranoia. This is ownership of your health. You're not a passenger in your own body. You're the one in charge, or at least you should be. You may feel stubborn about this. You may think, I've lived this long. I'll be fine. That line is pride pretending to be wisdom. Longevity does not make you invincible. In fact, as you age, your heart becomes less forgiving of bad decisions, careless combinations, and ignored warnings. The margin for error shrinks. The cost of inattention rises. That means your health now depends less on luck and more on awareness. Not fear, awareness. So stop brushing off what your heart is trying to tell you. Stop downgrading important signals into harmless inconveniences. Start treating every unexpected change as information, not annoyance. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. Your body is talking and you've been refusing to listen. That stops now. Listen to your symptoms, track them, bring them up, question them. Your comfort zone has kept you quiet. Your survival requires your voice. You stack pills the way people stack responsibilities, one on top of another, assuming nothing will collapse. Pain pills for discomfort, sleep pills for restless nights, energy pills to get through the day, herbal pills because someone said they're natural. And here is the blunt truth. Every time something new is added to that pile, the heart takes the weight. Combining pills without questions is not routine, it's gambling, and the stakes are your heart. You don't see the table, you don't see the risk, but your heart feels it every single day. You've been sold a massive lie. Natural means safe, common means harmless, available means risk-free. No. Natural does not equal harmless, common does not equal compatible, available does not equal appropriate for you. A leaf can change your heart rhythm. A relaxation supplement can push your blood pressure. A painkiller that seems innocent because everyone uses it can stress the heart, the kidneys, and the circulatory system, especially in older adults. You hear the word herbal and your guard drops. That drop in guard is the real danger. Another harsh truth, most people don't even tell their doctor everything they're taking. A prescription here, an over-the-counter pill there, a supplement a friend recommended, a tea or tonic someone swore by. And then you expect someone to magically understand why your heart feels off, why your blood pressure swings, why your energy disappears. Nobody can protect you from combinations you keep secret. Nobody can prevent interactions you never mention. Silence doesn't make you independent. Silence makes you unprotected. You might believe that smaller pills mean smaller risk. That's comforting and completely wrong. Interactions aren't about pill size. They're about chemistry inside your body. Two pills that seem harmless alone can become a problem together. Add age, add slower metabolism, add pre-existing heart conditions, and the risk multiplies. Your body isn't the same laboratory it used to be. The margin for error is smaller. The impact is bigger. This is not drama. This is physiology. Think about your current pattern. You reach for something to wake you up. You reach for something else to calm you down, something to sleep, something to ease pain, something to help digestion, something because someone online said it works wonders. You call this self-care. Sometimes it is not self-care. It is self-neglect disguised as convenience. You are mixing chemicals in your body without reading the rules, and your heart is forced to deal with the outcome whether you meant to or not. Here's a realization most people avoid. The danger is not just the wrong pill. The danger is the right pill taken with something it shouldn't be taken with. You can be disciplined, organized, proud of your routine, and still be setting your heart up for trouble simply because you never stop to ask how everything works together. Interactions are invisible until they are not. They creep in through side effects you ignore, fatigue you explain away, swelling you normalize, or heartbeat changes you pretend don't matter. You may tell yourself, if it was truly dangerous, someone would have stopped me. That belief is comforting, but naive. Nobody watches your kitchen counter. Nobody audits your cabinet. Nobody sees what you add between appointments. You are the only one who knows the full list, and sometimes even you don't have it written down. When you forget, when you guess, when you assume, your heart carries the consequences of your assumptions. That's the part people never say out loud. The mindset of more is better has to go. More pills don't equal more progress. More supplements don't equal more protection. Sometimes more simply equals more stress on your heart, more confusion for your body, more risk that something reacts in a way you don't expect. Your heart doesn't get a vote. It just works harder in silence, trying to keep up with your choices. Here's the shift you need to make. Stop combining blindly. Treat every new pill, every new supplement, every new natural remedy as something that must be cleared, checked, questioned, not because you're fragile, but because you're smart. You have every right to take what helps you, but you also have the responsibility to know what those things do together inside your body, at your age, with your health history. That responsibility is not optional anymore. You don't need fear. You need honesty. Honesty about what you're taking, honesty about why, honesty about how many bottles sit in front of you and how many different labels you've decided to trust without understanding. The strongest people are not the ones who swallow the most. They are the ones who think the most before they swallow anything. So stop gambling with your heart. Stop assuming that labels will protect you. Stop letting the word natural shut down your critical thinking. Write down what you take. Look at it clearly. Ask how these things interact. Ask what combining them does to your heart. Not eventually, now. Because combinations are not guesses. They are chemistry. And your heart is the one paying for every careless mix you allow. This isn't about scaring you. It's about responsibility for your life. You only get one heart. You don't get a spare. You don't get a reset button because a pill label felt reassuring or a habit felt easy. Read that again. Every beat is carrying your history, your choices, your routines, and yes, your medications. The heart works nonstop while you treat your health like something that can be placed on autopilot. Autopilot is comfortable. Autopilot is deadly when mixed with denial. You've spent years taking care of everything and everyone else. Bills, family, obligations, tasks. You move your own health to the bottom of the list because it feels inconvenient to think about it. Here's the blunt truth. Nothing in your life matters if your heart can't keep up. Not your plans, not your responsibilities, not your routines. You protect devices better than you protect your body. You update software more consistently than you update your understanding of what you're swallowing every day. That pattern has to end. Your heart is not a background character in your life. It is the main engine. It determines your strength, your breath, your ability to move, to think clearly, to stay alive long enough to enjoy what you've worked for. When a pill stresses that engine, nothing else you worry about matters. You cannot outrun a failing heart with excuses, pride, or habits. You cannot talk your way out of biology. You don't negotiate with physiology. You respect it, or you learn the hard way why respect was necessary. Another harsh truth, you've ignored your body because you assume it will just handle it. You think the heart is tough, and yes it is, but toughness has limits. Toughness is not immunity, the fact that it is kept you alive through stress, poor sleep, bad nutrition, emotional strain, and careless pill routines doesn't mean it can keep doing that forever. It means you're lucky. Luck is not a long-term health plan. Luck runs out. Your heart deserves better than being forced to compensate for choices you refuse to examine. You tell yourself that worrying is unnecessary, that thinking too much is negative. That's not wisdom. That's avoidance dressed up as positivity. Responsibility is not negative. Awareness is not negative. Pretending everything is fine while you know nothing about the effects of what you take every day is not optimism. It's self-neglect. A strong mindset isn't I'll be fine. A strong mindset is I'll know exactly what I'm doing to my body. Here's the shift you need. Move from passive hope to active responsibility. Hope says it will probably be okay. Responsibility says I will make sure it is okay. Hope avoids questions. Responsibility asks them. Hope closes its eyes. Responsibility opens them even when the answers are uncomfortable. You don't have to become fearful. You do have to become deliberate. That's the difference between drifting through life and actually protecting it. Stop waiting for a crisis to respect your heart. Stop assuming time will always give you another chance. Start treating every decision that affects your heart as serious, because it is. Food, stress, sleep, pills, combinations, dosages, they all land in the same place, your cardiovascular system. Every careless choice adds weight to it. Every informed choice removes some. Your life is not a rehearsal. Your heart is not replaceable. Responsibility is not optional anymore. You can keep pretending that everything you swallow is harmless because it's familiar, or you can take ownership of the only engine keeping you alive. One path feels easy now and expensive later. The other path feels uncomfortable now and life-saving later. You already know which one matters. So hear it clearly, respect your heart, or be prepared to face the cost of refusing to. No more autopilot, no more blind trust, no more, I'll think about it someday. Your heart is working for you right now, relentlessly, without rest. It's time you finally worked for it.